Good morning, guys. It is Saturday, October 19th. Yard's still progressing over each and every week. I'm really glad that I've got these videos to go back on to check on the progress, because me watching it every day, I sometimes get discouraged thinking this is not filling in as much as I would prefer. But then when I go back and watch last week's video just to kind of remind myself, I actually see the difference and the change. There are spots that, yes, I would like to have it fill in a little bit faster, but I've been troubleshooting. I've been trying to figure out what the issue is. So we'll kind of go over some of the troubleshooting steps that I've been taking, figure out why some areas are slower than others. Backyard still needs another manual reel mow to get this train back down. Don't want this getting too tall. I've been watering like crazy, so it's going to be growing fast. And we're also going to be putting down a little bit of nitrogen. There's a product called DGL, Dark Green Lawn. It's a 25 or 24. I can't remember because I don't have the bag in front of me. Straight nitrogen with a little bit of iron. So that's going to give our lawn a little bit of a kick to go into this maybe fall nitrogen blitz we might do. A lot of people are doing that right now. So I might do a granular and spray, because I've still got plenty of those Simple Lawn Solutions nitrogen. So I might do a little bit of both to really boost this going into winter time. For here in Tennessee, I'm not really sure when I'm going to be hanging up the boots for mowing and taking care of the lawn this year, because I remember a couple years ago I was mowing on Christmas Day, and my wife, of course, took a video of me mowing on Christmas Day and had to send it to all of her friends to kind of show, like, in a lot of people's minds, like, what an idiot, like, wow, he is mowing on Christmas Day. But I believe during that time I had ryegrass in the backyard, and that rye was just still growing. Anyway, yeah, so I just kind of wanted to go over what we were gonna do. May or may not film me real mowing the backyard. Maybe I will, because I don't think I did that in the last video. It was really just the front yard. I can give you an update on kind of the yard, walk around the house, and show each part of the yard and how it's doing. We're gonna put some granular fertilizers down with a DGL. Keep watching, because we're gonna get going. I like how this is filling in. It's looking good. You might see a little bit of lines in the yard. That's because I used the manual reel mower over this. I went that way and also went up and down. So towards the edge, it's still needing to fill in. I've put plenty of seed there, so it's not a seed issue. It's not like I missed that. So a couple days ago, I was coming out here and I was checking how this was going and was watching my sprinklers, and I noticed my sprinkler stopped about here. It did not continue over to this part. Now, I have set this up in the past and a couple times, and even had this going to that edge, so it was good at one time. But if you look at these sprinklers, I've got them raised up a little bit. So I've got a little PVC pipe staked into the ground, and it sits on top of that. That's just to give it a little bit of height over the blocks and to give it a good throw. So that being raised, it's got a good chance of rotating or moving. And so I had to readjust that sprinkler head to make sure that it kept going. The edge, so these sprinklers, when they spray, it's catching most of your water droplets are going out to the edge and then towards the middle. And then up here, you're getting smaller, finer particles. And then right here towards the edge, like right over where it's spraying, it's not getting. So those type of sprinklers, especially the way I've got it, it's not going to hit that spot. So I have been manually coming out here and watering the edge. I've been hitting this again just to kind of give that a good jump start. Over here, this is kind of like a pulling area that was because of the Hale. So all of that was washout. I've been coming out here twice a day to manually water these areas. And like in my last video, maybe it was last video, I showed how I was digging up peat moss, and that was really causing my seed to suffer on germination on this area, and definitely in these areas as well. So I garden weaseled that. I am starting to see more germination coming up now. So the seed was still there and it was still viable. It didn't completely dry out. So I've been manually watering all of that. Actually, let's get a better angle of this. As you can tell, all through here, when it gets close to the blocks, it just is not wanting to grow. So again, that's the sprinkler issue. I've been having to manually water this and then manually water all of this. This side, I do not have any kind of irrigation at all. Same with the other side. No irrigation. Yes, it will work eventually. If you put out your seed and you've got good seed to soil contact and you've got a little bit of rain in the forecast, if not, just kind of water yourself. It will take some time. The grass that's there will germinate and spread. So again, no irrigation. This looks really, really good. And so let me get over here because neighbor just started a mower. So I want this grass to fill in towards the house. I want this to be completely filled in. So I put down some seed. Probably gonna have to redo this and maybe put some compost or something to really fill in, because I've got a lot of rocky area. If it doesn't fill in, it doesn't fill in, because houses, the way that they're built, you've got dirt here, but then you've got a thick gravel base that's under the brick of your house. It's kind of giving it a good platform for that brick to sit on. And so if you were to dig deep down into that area, you're going to come into a ton of white gravel underneath that. So I'm not expecting that to really take too much, especially for fescue, since fescue is a deep-rooted type grass. Wow. All right, so I got mower, I've got trains, I've got planes, planes, and automobiles. All right. Backyard, every time I've done a reseed, which I've done multiple times. I've done ryegrass, I've done Bermuda, I've done Kentucky bluegrass. This is the first time that I've ever done fescue. First time ever that I've done fescue, because I've never been a fescue guy in the past. Love the feel of this yard. It's super soft. It's not like your tall fescue. Sorry if you got tall fescue, but I'm just not a fan. When I thought of fescue, the first thing that I pictured was Kentucky 31. I just figured Kentucky 31 is how all fescue looks. Just that coarse, thick stuff, and I'm not a fan of that. But then once I started seeing how fescue can be thinner blades and have a really nice color, it can stripe really good, that's what sold me. And so again, this is the first time I've ever done fescue. So needless to say, backyard is gonna take time. It's looking good, it's looking fine. I'm happy with it. Let's kind of change the view a little bit. So if you go over here, thick, it really thickened up. So this all looks good. So in this area, looking down this, you see a little bit of a green haze. Just a week ago, or I'll say a week and a half ago, there wasn't really any kind of germination. There was no grass coming up. So I know that this is still going and that this is gonna work. It's just gonna take time. I'm hoping by Halloween, which is a little less than 15 days away, that this will grow up and start to look a little bit better. And all of these gaps that we see, so you can see dappling. This is actually a good view. So if we look out, you can see the dappling of the fescue coming up, and it's little tight bunch type growing. And all of those fescues, once they get high enough, and then we start to cut them and they spread, and they're just going to keep spreading and sending up those little I just went blank. It's not rhizomes. Tillers. Yeah. So the fescue is going to start sending out its new tillers and tillering out. So that's what we're waiting on, and that dappling effect that you're seeing. And then the Kentucky bluegrass that I pre-germinated and put that out, that's going to fill in. So all of this will fill in. It's just going to take time. This area did really, really well. Why did it do really well? Wash out. All that rain that came down, washed all that seed down, gathered it all right here, just took it. Let's see. I swear, I have not looked at my test. I don't see anything. So this is that KBG that I put out. It's moist, so there's no problem with that. It's not dried out. Oh, okay. All right. So we have something. Let me see if I can show. This is going to be, if I can find it in the camera. Right there. We see a tiny amount of green with our pre-germinated KBG. So this is 5 days after I planted it. So we've got 6 days pre-germination, 5 days of planting. So you're looking at 11 days total, and we see green. So you guys tell me, did pre-germination work, or is it not worth the time? Because I'm guessing if we're seeing green there, the rest of these will start to follow, and maybe there is more, I'm just not finding it. But that's our first sign. KBG can take sometimes over a month, and we've got signs of grass coming up in 11 days total. So I think our pre-germination pretty much cut it in half, or at least in the best possible conditions, took maybe a week off. I call that a success. In most cases, I've seen people say it took a month before I really saw anything. We do have a couple things to do. We'll real mow this backyard, and then we're going to start putting out some fertilizers to put this down. Got a little bit of a mix right there. The first one being Anderson's. I'll get you so you can see it. This is Anderson's dark green lawn. I've used this before last year, I believe, on my Bermuda. This is a 2500, so it's just a nitrogen, and we're looking at 25% nitrogen, 6% iron, and 3.6% sulfur. And it's got some rates over here, which mostly all of this it's going to be showing for some warm season grasses to put this down, but you can put this down on any kind of seed, cool season or warm season grass types. So we're gonna put that down. And I had a little bit left of this. I'd say maybe an eighth of a bag left, maybe a little bit more. So I mixed that into that fertilizer for the dark green lawn. So we're gonna put that out. So we just got done putting out the leftover starter fertilizer that I had, which is about a quarter of a bag left, and the DGL product that is just a nitrogen, straight nitrogen based fertilizer, a little bit of iron, just for that green, that top growth quality that you're gonna look for. We put that out, and with my neighbor across the street that saw what I was doing in a renovation, he wanted to know what kind of seed I was putting out, so I told him about the GCI turf type tall fescue is what I picked, and he already had fescue in his yard, so he wanted to do an overseed this year and get his yard looking great this year. He gave me some money to order that for him, and then got it delivered to him this week, and he's putting it out today. And since I gave him some of my seed from last time when I did my renovation and put my seed out, I gave him a little bit because he had nothing but bare dirt during that time, and that part is filling in. It's looking nicely. It's going to blend in with the rest of his grass, his existing grass that he had. And he went ahead and ordered more because he wanted to do his backyard and get it all blended and looking good. And he was gracious enough to give me a little bit more seed so I can touch up some of these areas. Yeah, they would have filled in, but not only am I a indecisive person, but I'm also an impatient person, which is probably why I do pre-germination. You know, speed up, save money on water, save all that time that I'm running with sprinklers every single day. Alright, so kind of wanted to come back real quick, show you what I'm doing, since I'm doing an overseed now at this point, since I've got now some established grass that has grown in over the last month. Went and got a bunch of compost and manure bags. I've been putting this into my gorilla cart and been having to hand spread it. I tried to pick up a peat moss spreader to help me put this out quicker and easier, but some guy rented it out from under me. So looking really, really good at this point. I don't really mind doing the compost spreading by hand. I'm really just hitting the spots that need help filling in. And I'll take you over to the side because I said I was going to do this. So I'll fill all that in. So you can see towards the edge, I really want that grass to grow in and get up against that house to really fill in. So put that compost manure over there to really give the seeds something to sit in. It was sitting on dirt and a little bit germinated in this area, but that's been there for about a couple weeks now, and I barely saw really much of any more up through the top. So I think this area is really, really compacted because underneath you've got that gravel that the houses sit on. So maybe with the added compost on top, it would give it a little bit of something to grab hold of, and then maybe after that send roots down deeper. But so yeah, I just wanted to show the side, but the front yard looking good. Trouble areas again, putting the compost, did a little bit more of an overseed. I'm gonna keep this wet and do some manual watering in these areas, and then I've got more work to do. I've got the rest of these bags, and we'll take these to the backyard and spread it out by hand and go from there. I'll come back when I'm done. Alright, so I got my gorilla cart here filled up with the compost and manure, and since I don't have the peat moss spreader to really help me get this out, so two different methods that I wanted to show you that I'm doing to spread this by hand. One of them, easy, is just the scatter and splatter. If you've just got one spot, throw it down, just throw it down really hard, it'll scatter, splatter across the edge. That's if you've just got like a real small spot. But if you're covering like a big area like all of this, I'm doing the make it rain. So just doing that motion, that's going to break up all the compost and some of the clumps of manure that's built in. So you're just kind of rubbing it across to break it down and spread it. So those are the two methods that I'm using. Make it rain, scatter and splatter. If you've got a choice, go get a peat moss spreader if you know you're doing this ahead of time. That'll save you time. Alright, in our last segment, what can doo-doo do for you? So yeah, put out doo-doo, with it being manure. Pretty sure it's just cow manure. And compost. So manure and compost, the reason why it's mixed together is it is a 1-2 punch. They do perfect for each other because one does one thing and the other does another. So first of all, manure being poop is going to bring in all of that organic matter, whatever the animal ate, whatever it grazed on, whatever. It's eating that, it broke it down and produced it into manure, add it to compost. So that compost is just kind of like, if you've ever composted in your life, all that eggshells, leftover ingredients from rotten fruit, rotten vegetables, just whatever you didn't eat. Grocery stores will usually hand off their compost or their bad goods to companies that will break it down into compost or mix it in to their compost. And so when you take compost and you mix it with manure, that's what creates that 1-2 punch. So the manure is going to create that organic material. That compost, what that does, I gotta break up. There's a big manure turd right there. I gotta break up. So what that compost does is it adds the microbial activity that is going to eat and break down that manure. So the cow who ate and grazed everything that it came in contact with produced manure. That manure gets shipped off and added to compost. That compost that is broken down from vegetables that we did not eat mixes in, and then we restart that activity, that natural activity of compost and all the microbials, just the bacteria and all that's going to start breaking down the poop from the cow, starting off. So all of that is going to help break down the organic materials into your yard so that your yard has a chance to actually consume it, because if it's not broken down, the yard's not going to do anything with it, or it can't do anything with it. So you kind of need that assist to break down the organic materials. If you've got compost in your yard, or you've added organic materials in your yard, that 1-2 punch is what's going to really help you get that nitrogen green up boost and really help with your overseed. So if you're going to do an overseed, and if you're in the transition zone, you're probably like right there at the last ditch chance. I need to check the weather, but I'm pretty sure we at least have at least another 30, maybe 40 days before we, cannot germinate turf type tall fescue. So, wanted to explain why I'm putting down compost, being that material that's going to break down the organic material from the manure that's also mixed in. So compost and manure, 1-2 punch for your yard. That's why it's so much better than peat moss. Peat moss, people are just putting it down just to kind of help with the moisture. This will do the same thing. Compost and manure does the same thing, helps retain moisture, but it does not affect you or have any downsides later on. It does not keep a moisture barrier between you and your seed. That's what peat moss is. We're coming to find out that it's not a good solution. Go for, if you can't get compost or manure, that mixture, just put down hay. I mean, you're gonna have a chance of getting weeds with hay, but at least you can put down something. So just wanted to explain that, and we're gonna wrap this up. I am going to finish watering all of this in really well. I still got the backyard to do, but turn all this off so you can hear me. But thank you again for watching today's video. I finally made it to 100 subscribers. I don't know where I am now. I think I'm at 102 last time I checked, but thank you very much for getting me there. That was my only goal, just to get to 100. Anything after that is just a bonus. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all the comments that are coming in, the questions, and just telling me like how your project's going, how your yard is progressing. Working with my neighbor over there, he's now working on his backyard. He's tearing up everything. He's doing his backyard, but his yard's looking great. My yard's looking pretty good. Just need to fill in some areas, but that's what we're doing. So this is One Hale of a Lawn. My name is Mickey Hale. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys hopefully next week. See you later.